Hello, everybody. This is Hondo Carpenter, your Las Vegas Raiders beat writer on Sports Illustrated and the host of the Las Vegas Raiders Insider Podcast. Welcome to Las Colinas, Texas, where the 2024 NFL winter owners meetings are going on. This was day two. It was Wednesday. Good to be with you all. A lot happened today. I had a chance to talk to Roger Goodell, had a chance to talk to Mark Davis. Want to talk to you about a lot, as well as going to have an article coming tomorrow with a lot of my news and notes from here at the NFL owners meeting. I hope that you don't miss it. Let's just dig right in and start up. Dexter's over there yelling for daddy. I apologize, but let's start getting into this real quick because I want to talk to you about what happened today. I thought there was a lot of interesting developments. As expected, it was pretty much a rubber stamp because all the investigative work and before it gets on the agenda, everything's got to be done. The league rubber stamped the two new additions, the minority stakeholders in the Raiders. That's done. Two really good additions. Mark Davis talked about that. He went on the record today for almost 11 minutes. Going to have that up for you shortly, within the next 24 hours. But he talked a lot about the team, what the team is up to, what the team's doing. Obviously, he's extremely disappointed at being in 2-11, which I've been telling you that he is committed to winning in the franchise going and getting to a winning place. He talked a lot about Tom Brady. Now, you may remember I broke the story to you back last year when Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler were fired. I broke the story to you that Tom Brady was going to have a very loud, a very big voice is the word that I've used. I was told that by a source inside, and a lot of people have confirmed my reporting, but I was the first. And today, Mark Davis was asked about it, and he used the word bigger than big. He said huge. He's going to have a huge voice. Now, nothing they're going to ask Tom Brady to do is going to interfere with his Fox contract. I have said and I maintain, I expect Tom Brady to stay and to honor his contract for at least 4 more years. That is my expectation. And that is what I believe is going to happen. Who knows after that? But Mark Davis talked about he's going to have a huge voice. He's going to listen to him greatly, and he should. And that's been lacking in this organization, and he's got that now. Mark Davis was very open about Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce are two separate individuals. They're not a package deal, but I wouldn't read into that he's planning on getting rid of either guy. You may know there was a report that there was a mandate to get a first round quarterback. I reported to you on Monday. That's not accurate. There was a report that it's a foregone conclusion. Antonio Pierce is fired. I told you on Monday. That's not accurate by sources within the organization. Mark confirmed both of my deflections of that today, by saying it, we're just focused on how we're going to finish these last 4 games. I think there's a really big deal here for the Raiders. This is a very big deal, and I'm going to tell you this: I believe that if Mark Davis believes that the Raiders absolutely cannot get better under Antonio Pierce, he'll make a move. If he's not sure of that, I think he sticks with AP. I mean, the fact that this team is still fighting for AP, nobody's quit, says a lot about AP and his leadership. The players are still behind AP. There was a lot of things that went on behind the scenes. I'm going to get into those after the year when I do a deep dive and kind of why this season went wrong. We'll deal with all of that. But Mark's attitude today was extremely disappointed in where the team is, but bullish on the fact that he's got a team of businessmen around him, and then two people in Brady and Seymour that are football guys that he's going to be able to really rely on, but also very content with Tom Telesco, who had a very good draft. And Mark talked about that. So again, I'll have that video for you here shortly. And I know that you're going to enjoy it and you're going to absolutely want to hear it. And I think it's going to really, as a Raider fan, I think you're going to like it. Um, a lot going on with this Raider organization. I'm going to be writing about it. I talked about it in yesterday's podcast. If you didn't see yesterday's podcast, I would encourage you to make sure that you go check it out. But a lot of talk here about the draft. I could not find one person who felt comfortable um, telling me the 25 quarterback class is as good as 24. Not one. I couldn't find one person that really felt like they were definitive in their rankings of this class or where they thought of each player. But I will tell you, I got some interesting interesting thoughts. The Oregon quarterback is moving up everybody's draft boards. I thought that was interesting. I'm going to give you more on that later. They think he's better than the Ole Miss Jackson Dart quarterback and better than Beck. And I thought that was interesting. I heard some comments about Syracuse and Ewers at Texas, and even heard one NFL executive say Ewers, they think he's a free agent. That as soon as he starts to feel pressure, he instantly goes into a back pedal. I thought all of those are interesting, but yet everybody, and I've got more, but everybody, I was just reading my notes off my phone, but everybody seemed, just, which is where it's normal this time of year, because what happens is your scouts and your player personnel people are doing all that. General managers and pro player personnel people are so focused on the season, they'll get to all that in the offseason. I think this is going to be a critical combine. Absolutely critical combine. And I think there's a chance a couple of people may not play in it, may not participate, actually, is what I should say. But I think that's going to be fascinating. But so the word on the street, I had a lot of people talk. I mentioned it yesterday about where the Raiders are with Tom Brady. I'm going to be writing more about that tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern. My article drops. Please don't miss it. And I'll talk a little bit more about it in my podcast tomorrow as well. But just very fascinating to me, very interesting to me, watching how this draft is formulating. Again, I had another person today that didn't know about the guy yesterday who said to me, if these are his words, I'm paraphrasing, I wrote down what he said, but I don't have them with me right here. But he said, if I'm the Raiders and I know I've got to have a quarterback, I can't miss on this guy, and I'm Tom Brady, and I know if I miss on my first quarterback, Raider Nation's never going to forgive me. He goes, if I'm not sure that one of these top guys is the guy, he goes, I'm going to go look at Sam Darnold. Now, I said to him, what do you think Sam Darnold would take on? What would the cost for Sam Darnold be? And he said, probably 40 million a year, which is what I told you Monday I was hearing. And this is a person that I didn't know about that conversation. He goes, but I think he could go higher because I'm not so sure there's a bunch of quarterbacks in this class or a bunch of quarterbacks ready to play in this class. So, anyways, there you go. That's interesting stuff on quarterback. I thought Mark Davis was, as usual, very direct, very sincere. And I thought he was really, really good. Now, I had a chance to talk to Roger Goodell. As you guys know, John Shop, who joins me every Saturday on the podcast, John is a very highly successful attorney and a very well decorated journalist. And John and I talk all the time about the need for the NFL to add an on-field official. An off-field official, somebody up in the box who has the limited jurisdiction to be able to look at blatant penalties that are just missed and to be able to signal down to the field. Roger, and this is something I appreciate about Roger. He is a politician, But he talked about, I think we have that guy already in the booth, the replay official, and we're going to be investigating um, expanding that role. So John and I have been talking about it now for 2 years, and I do think that's coming. We're going to find more with the competition committee this offseason. I think there's a chance that we could see if you kick the ball out of the end zone rather than in the landing zone, I think you could see the ball now go to the 35 to increase more kick returns. I like that a lot. I really like that a lot. I like the fact that the NFL is adding a game in Berlin. There's going to be 8 games next year. We know at least one of them will include the Jacksonville Jaguars. So there's a potential of 15 other teams who will go, and one of those games will be in Berlin. The NFL also confirmed today that it is that Germany is going to be a permanent part of the cycle with rotating of players. One other little bit of news: the NFL extended their agreement with Nike for 13 years. But there was one other piece of information that we've been talking to you a lot on this podcast. I thought was very big. We've been telling you that they're going to 18 games. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when. And there's a lot of talk right now between the league and the NFLPA about health. Jonathan Shop and I have also been talking about expanding rosters. If you're going to go to 18 games, what that looks like if you expand the roster, how do you change the salary cap allocation as far as percentages? There's a lot there that's being worked through, but I think the league pretty much today confirmed it's not a matter of if, it's when, but it's coming. So again, Mark Davis made it very clear he's unhappy when asked how he would assess the team. He goes, "You guys watch it, you can assess it," and they're 2-11. But he also was sincere in the fact his team is still fighting for AP. There's still a ton of injuries, but there's no excuses. It's just win, baby. But fascinating times right now with the Raiders. I'm going to get back to work on the owners' meetings, but we'll have another podcast for you tomorrow, as well as an article you're not going to want to miss. Please make sure you make si.com/NFL/Raiders your source for all your Raiders information. Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. So from here in Las Colinas at the Ritz-Carlton for the NFL owners meeting, thank you all for joining us. God bless you.